You want to know perfect fragrances for your fall collection?
I got you.
Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're doing well. Today, perfection and a fall fragrance collection. 10 different scents that you need to know about when it comes time for the leaves to fall. And I'm gonna kind of divide these up into different groups as we go along. So some of these fragrances are gonna be more of your gourmand, sexy, sweet type of scents. Some are gonna be a little bit classier, but still sexy. And then some are gonna be more versatile, anytime type of fragrances. The type that you can wear daytime or evening as you head through the fall. All of these linked in the description, so feel free to check them out down there. We begin with classiness with this one right here, Prodalome Intense. Yeah, Prodalome Intense is still one of those just go-to fragrances when it's fall and winter time. If you're looking for something that's masculine, that's classy, that's still sexy, and not so far gone down that formal side that you can't wear it casually, because you can do that with this too. Now it's gonna have a lot of similarities with the original Prodalome, of course, so it's gonna have this kind of soapy, little bit powdery iris in there. And I know iris can be a little bit divisive. Some people not a big fan, but I would say that this one, because of the added leather, takes it a little bit more classically masculine than the original Prodalome, which makes it a little easier to digest for some people. Has good performance, great quality, and another thing about this is, realistically, not a whole lot of guys are wearing it. I mean, yeah, people that are into fragrances, you, me, we know about it. But Joseph McBroseph II, who's down at Macy's paying $42,000 for the newest whatever exclusive fragrance that just dropped. Hey, buy this one, it's 60 mils. Don't worry, it's a good deal. $200, but don't worry, it'll last a billion minutes. And your mom will say you smell nice. Yeah, that dude, he probably is not aware of this one and some of the other ones that we're gonna talk about here. So if you want something classy, sexy, and also still wearable during the day and the evening, that really crushes during fall, you gotta know Prodalome Intense. So we're gonna leave that one there. This is gonna be our like tiny, classy section, I guess, right here. I know it's like blending into the background almost, isn't it? It's like, where's the fragrance? Spot it. Oh, there it is. Let's next go with something that's versatile, easy to wear pretty much whenever you want, that's gonna really shine as that temperature starts to drop. It's a newer release from Montblanc, and it's Explorer Extreme. Now, I imagine the same thing that happened with the original Explorer is going to repeat with this one, because that's what history does. It repeats over and over and over and over. When the original Explorer came out, a lot of people, myself included, were not super psyched to be paying full retail for a fragrance that was similar in a lot of ways to Creed's Aventus. But then something magical happened. The price dropped at discounters. It's not actually magical. Yeah, it just got more affordable. And then people were like, I like it now. Good, yeah. I don't want to pay as much money. Understandable, understandable. This one, kind of the same deal, right? Full retail. Maybe you look at it and you go, I don't know about that. But give it a few months, pops up at discounters, price starts going down, starts to look pretty good. It's also one that my wife really enjoys a whole lot too, so that doesn't hurt. It is similar in a bunch of ways to Dior's Sauvage Elixir. This one is gonna be more citrus forward off the top though, which makes it easier to wear. It's also a little bit smoother overall, and has a little more sweetness to it in general. Sauvage Elixir is gonna pack a little more punch, and that one would work really well too. It is gonna obviously be more costly, but it's gonna have that big wallop of like woods and spices, really masculine smelling. This one, as I said, a little sweeter, a little smoother, a little more citrus, but still in the overall stylings of Sauvage Elixir. So even though maybe at full retail, this one you might look at and go, I don't know about that, wait until the price drops. And at that point, pretty solid. I got 2 black bottles that are blending in. Next, we're talking date night. Yes, that type of fragrance, magnetic, cozy, alluring type of fragrance that's gonna have somebody catch a whiff and wanna come in for another, and preferably another. And for this fragrance, I have to choose this one, the one, Eau de Parfum. Been out for a minute, so it's not gonna be like the latest, greatest, hottest new fragrance or anything like that, but to an extent, that can work in your favor. Kind of going back to what I was talking about with Prodalome Intense over here, not as many people wearing this nowadays. I mean, you go back in time and yeah, pretty much everybody and their mother had a bottle or 3, but nowadays not as hot, which also you can trace back just to Dolce & Gabbana themselves. You may ask, well, what are you talking about when you say that? You trace it back to Dolce & Gabbana. Well, they haven't come out with the one in years. And you may find this hard to believe, but designer fragrance brands want to make money. And so if their fragrance line is crushing it and everybody is like, yes, I want more, they will be happy to give you more. As long as you take your money and put it in their hand. They will say, oh, thank you. Here, look at this. I made this just for you. Now, if their fragrance line is not doing so hot, then they may look at the prospect of doing a new fragrance release in that line and go, people don't really seem to care about that one right now, so well, let's not. Now, I'm not saying it's dead forever, the one line. I'm sure it's not. I hope it's not. That would be insane. But it just is not at the top. We'll say that. Still yet, though, this is fantastic. It's really, really, really good. Spicy, sweet, but not overly so, especially compared to a lot of fragrances nowadays. Which is kind of funny, because when this came out, it was like, oh yeah, that's really sweet and spicy. But now you smell it and you're like, yeah, a little more spicy though, but not that sweet. Things have gone the other direction. Vanilla, tonka, and overload nowadays. Not that I mind that much. I like it. I like the sweets. Diabetes, it's good for you, I think. So this one's gonna hit you with that warm spice, that sweetness, a little bit of fresh spice as well. You're gonna get that ginger, cardamom, tobacco, amber, just really well done. Perfect for a date. Okay, gourmand time. Gourmand-ish, gourmand adjacent. This one, really good performance. So this one's gonna last a very long time, project extremely well. And there's gonna be 3 fragrances that I kind of put together in this group that all kind of work together. Trying to make some room here. The first one is Scandal Absolu by Jean-Paul Gaultier. The note breakdown is derpified. 3 notes. Yes, a whole 3. Mirabelle plum off the top, sandalwood, and then chestnut. Whew. This stuff is freaking good. If I were gonna pick only, 3 fall fragrances or something, this would probably be one of them, at least for this year. I absolutely adore the way the chestnut comes across here. It's got like a hint of creaminess, nice sweetness, not bubblegummy, really sexy, almost edible, magnetic, alluring, all of those things. The Mirabelle plum gives you a nice, different kind of fruity open. It's not really high tinged. It's got nice depth to it. The quality is fantastic. For me, it easily sits at the top of the Scandal lineup. Now, you may say, the original Scandal, Scandal Le Parfum, or even the new one, is better, but for me, it's gotta be Absolu. So we've got like our 4 little categories right here. Now we're gonna start adding to each one. But before we add, we must subtract. With codes, coupon codes. Ah, yes, subtraction is good sometimes. So the Gift Express code has changed, as I have said about 50 times now. $400 and above, you get 15% off. If it's under that amount, 10% off. But good news, you can use that code 52 million times. It's unlimited use now. Perfume box, you can save yourself some money there. It's a nice discounter, lots of cologne fragrances there. Max Aroma, save some money there. They've got a bunch of different fragrances. And if you want to pay less for those, then you can use that code. In fact, there are codes for mini stores, and any of them that you see on the screen, you can use those codes to save yourself money. Let's go ahead and add one to sit next to Scandal Absolu over here. How about this one? The Most Wanted from Azzaro, which also has 3 notes as well. And they're different: cardamom, toffee, and amberwood. So a completely different note breakdown. But you would use this a lot of times in the same situations that you might use this one. Now, I will say that the Most Wanted compared to Scandal Absolu are a little bit zingier off the top, a little bit more lively. The cardamom smells really, really pleasant. Like I said, a little bit of a sparkle to it, nice, warm, spicy sweetness. The toffee that's in there is gonna be, vaguely reminiscent of like caramel that's used in some of the other Scandal fragrances. Once again, fantastic performance. This one and this one both are gonna be thought of more as like evening fragrances, but you can easily wear them during the day as well. Just make sure if it's like the beginning of fall, when it's still decently warm out, well, depending on where you live, but if it's decently warm out, don't go crazy heavy with these ones because they are made to cut through the cold. They're made to last a long time. And if it's still humid or still hot, you know, like around beginning of September or something, depending on, again, where you are, you go real heavy with these, may not work out as well. You can still wear them, just take that spray amount and bring it down just a little bit, just a little bit. But the next one is a fragrance that you could wear in the evening or on a date, night out, something like that, that has more push, more projection, more longevity, more of a likelihood to get you noticed if you're going out with that intention. Like this one is more of like an intimate date night kind of thing. The next one is a little bit more reach out and grab your attention, if that makes sense. And it is Million Gold Elixir by Rabanne. Yes, another elixir. I realized I just said another elixir as if there was an elixir here, and there's not. I mean just that everything is an elixir nowadays. That's what I meant. 3 notes. Again, green mandarin off the top. You have vanilla as it dries down, along with sandalwood. Now I have to say, Million Gold that came out before this one, I'm not a huge fan of that one. And my wife actually hates that fragrance because to her, the way it hits her nose, it reminds her of body odor, like sweat. And I didn't get that at all initially when I first wore it. I was like, you're crazy, I don't get that at all. And then one day I was testing it and it clicked. And I was like, oh, it does have like a little bit of a potential funkiness to it, yeah. So that one you can wear, but you do run a higher risk of somebody potentially thinking it's a little odd. Or maybe it works extremely well for you, and in that case, great, wear that one. Other 1 million fragrances that would work, 1 million Elixir, that one would be a really nice choice. 1 million Royal could work as well. And maybe some of the original ones, you know, like the very first 1 million, that could work. But this one takes Million Gold and kind of fixes it, at least for me. Nice little touch of citrus off the top, not too much. Again, a green mandarin orange. As it dries down, vanilla, good amount of vanilla. And the sandalwood is gonna give it kind of a creamy edge. Performance is, as you would expect from a 1 million, big, so be aware of that. You know, this one, like I said, if you're gonna wear it on a date, that's cool, but if it's a more intimate type of date, dial the sprays down a little bit. Less is more in some of those situations. Let's go classy with this one. Gentleman Reserve Privé. I love Reserve Privé. This is one of my favorite fragrances, period. It does have iris, again, so yes, both of the classy fragrances have iris. This is a very different take on iris than this though. This is gonna be a little bit more of that creamy type of iris. Not quite as lipsticky as something like Dior Homme Intense or Valentino Uomo Intense, but more in that style than this one is. You also have chestnut in here, really popular note nowadays. Also have whiskey, so you've got kind of a boozy sweetness and warmth. Woods, amber, and a faint touch of citrus off the top. It's not gonna be as like screamingly loud as some of these other ones, but again, we're going for something that's both classy and sexy with this one, and I think it does that extremely well. And even though the projection is not quite as beastly, it does have really good longevity. It sticks around, it lasts a long time. Versatility is next, and I'm gonna go with Polo Red Parfum, something different than all the other ones here. It also flies under the radar, you know, just a little bit. It's not like a super hyped fall fragrance. And it's not really necessarily a fall fragrance in general. It's kind of a whenever you want fragrance. But it works really well during fall, and it is going to shake things up a lot more compared to your more typical ambery vanilla kind of scents. So you've got blood orange, pink pepper, and bergamot off the top. Really citrusy, bright, fresh. As it dries down, you have lavender, absinthe, musk, a little bit of woodiness. It's a great balance of fresh and sweet at the same time, which makes it a nice fragrance for when you're kind of heading through the beginning part of fall. Also a great daytime fragrance all through fall. And it has like a little clean aspect to it too. You know, like a faint, almost light soapiness that kind of lingers back there, which again makes it just even more versatile. Going back over here, gonna finish up this trio with Stronger With You, absolutely. But I have to say, really, pretty much any of the Stronger With You fragrances would fit right over here. Stronger With You Intensely, Stronger With You Parfum, this one. And if you could scoop it up, something like Stronger With You Leather would work well too. Stronger With You absolutely has been kind of my go-to, I guess, in the Stronger With You line, the one that I wear most often when I'm gonna pick one from the line. Performance, you know, kind of goes without saying. It's just as good as these, if not even stronger. Vanilla and chestnut. Once again, like I said, you know, toffee, caramel, chestnut, those notes, really popular. It has rum as well. A little bit of lavender in there as it dries. Also a touch of woodiness in there as well. It does lean more towards being an evening scent, but especially once it starts to cool down a little bit, easily pull that off during the day also. And I think it smells, you know, just ever so slightly more grown up than Stronger With You Intensely, which also would be a good choice, but that one is gonna be a little more sweet, a little bit more loud. Not that this one isn't, just that one a tiny step up. And we're gonna finish off with this Boss Bottled Absolute, which this one is kind of a wild card. Like you can put it here, you can put it there, you could put it here, and you could also kind of put it there. To me, it smells a little bit similar to Parfums de Marly Carlisle, trash atomizer on it, at least on the 50 ml bottle. Ooh, terrible. Fragrance is, oh, amazing. The quality is nuts. It's basically like, hey, what if we released a designer fragrance in a line that's not necessarily extremely well known or hadn't been up to that point for just absolute masterpiece, niche adjacent fall and wintertime fragrances, but what if we went ahead and did that? And then they did. Note breakdown has incense, leather, patchouli, myrrh, cedar, and divana. Another one with amazing performance. This stuff lasts forever, projects well. It gets better as it ages. Like this is like a wine, really. Like you come back to it, you know, 6 months after you first get it, spray it again, and you're like, it's even better. It's that type of fragrance. Another one that is a little more of like an evening type of scent, but man, Boss Bottled Absolute, like Boss Bottled Elixir, really, really good, really good. And when that one came out, I was like, oh man, this is like the pinnacle Boss Bottled. I don't know if they're gonna beat it. They did. So there we go, guys. With these 10, perfect collection. If you're looking for something that is just like mass appealing monster, one after another, that's what this is, with a couple other ones thrown in just to shake it up a little bit. So there we go. Let me know some of the things that you think would be perfect for a fall collection. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.